Chapter 4, Part 11 and 12. Part 11, The Story of Yavanas. Palniswami said, My dear disciples, the nature of Sri Vallabha cannot be imagined. One cannot describe his place. His wish is to coordinate all the dharmas and traditions in the world and merge them in Sanatana Dharma. He will establish the Sanatana Dharma in the whole universe at the end of Kali Yuga. Sri Charana told John, Yahuwah means I am. That is a form of Parabrahman. All the consciousness reflecting in the universe is the consciousness of Jesus Christ, who is popular as the Son of God. The consciousness purified is the same as sacred flowing grace, which gives peace and happiness. All those three forms are mine. As a result of your pure love, you could get my darshan, which is very difficult to get otherwise. Similarly, the Yavana Dharma also is an inherent part of the essence of Datta. A Mahatma by the name of Mahamati was a devotee of formless Makeshwar. He used to call God as Allah. He saw all the seven heavens. He wanted to see Allah, but he saw only his reflection. The Yavana sannyasi you saw was a Brahmin who was born in the lineage of Bharadwaja. He lost his parents during his childhood. He was brought up by Muslim fakir and learned Muslim dharmas. He learned Hindu dharmas by staying with a Hindu Mahatma. He learned Kriya Yoga from a great yogi in Varanasi. He then met a Datta Avduta and asked for silver coins. As his tin would not get filled up, the Avduta put two khazur fruits in it. Then he was satisfied. With that, the Chaitanya of Datta flowed into him. Later he came to Disila Nagaram. It was a small village in a forest area. When he got to the thick forest, Sripada Srivallabha sat on a stone and meditated. If anyone does meditation sitting on that stone, he would get wonderful results. Sripada Srivallabha did tapas for 12 years in the underground house you saw under the neem tree. During those 12 years, he got the power of tapas, equivalent to that of doing tapas for 12,000 years. Sri Vallabha's body got transformed into a 12,000 years old one. The whole cave was occupied by his hair. His eyebrows also became thick. To see his eyes, one would have to lift the eyebrows with difficulty. Sri Channa gave that fruit of tapas to that young sannyasi when that young monk was about 4 years old. Sri Channa started tapas in that cave in his hidden form. When that sannyasi became 16 years old, he completed 12 years of tapas. My dear, these incidents which I am telling you are going to happen in the coming centuries. They are not the present incidents. Sri Pada will manifest with the name of Narsimha Saraswati and will be there for 8 years with that name and form. He will later be in deep meditation incognito in Kadalivanam for 300 years. He will later take the name of Swami Samartha in Prajanapura and will later merge in the Mallikarjun Lingam in Sri Srisalam. But the Yavana sannyasi whom you saw will also be an old age form. He will put his Chaitanyam in the sannyasi and make him equal to him. My dear Shankar, Sripada Vallabha detained his penance for 12 years in the middle of those four Nanda Deepams. He divided the whole universe into 16 parts and illustrated the four parts of Brahman as follows symbolically for the four parts of Brahman. He lighted those four Nanda Deepams with his yogic fire and he remained in penance. The sides east, west, south and north are the kalas of the first part. People who worship them will get divine glow. The kalas in the second part are the earth, space, sky and ocean. Those who worship them will become endless and conquer the worlds. The kalas in the third part of Brahman are fire, sun, moon and electricity. Those who worship them will become lustrous and conquer worlds. The kalas in the fourth part are life, eye, ear and mind. Those who worship them will become established in them. Moreover, one gets knowledge. If the north side is conquered, if the south is conquered, he will not have problems from Bhuta, Preta and Pisas. If the east is conquered, one gets wealth, and if the west is conquered, the king becomes favorable. If one conquers all the four sides, he will get Digvijaya. Sripada Vallabha has the sides as his cloths. He has spread to the endlessness of all the sides, so he is called Digambara. Sri Datta Digambara is the same as Sripada Sri Vallabha Digambara. From the gross, subtle and casual bodies of Sri Charna, thousands of rays and kalas will be emanating. Some rays become as Amsa avatars. After completing the task given to them, they will be merging into the original consciousness of Sripada Sri Vallabha. He would do creation, protection, annihilation, retrogression and graceful acts simultaneously. The vibrations seen in the creation of worlds are called Srishti Tattvam. Their preservation and protection is called Sthiti Tattvam. Their annihilation is called Laya Tattvam. The returning of those vibrations into their origin is called Tirthona. The vibration related to compassion and pity of the Jivas are called Anugraham. Man become weaklings with the passage of yugas. Therefore, the Almighty descends to lower states based on the prayers of sages. The incarnation of the Lord in a human body is an indication of His complete grace. This descent of the Lord to lower levels enables humans to obtain excellent results with little effort. Therefore, human beings in Kali Yuga are fortunate. By mere remembrance, the grace of Lord Datta would be available. There are many opportunities for the downfall of a man in Kali Yuga, but the number of opportunities for obtaining the grace of Sripada is twofold. This is a sacrosanct truth. Remembrance, adoration, and other activities establish association with Lord Sripada. By this, all the sinful acts, impure sensual influences, and behavior patterns of the devotees enter into the consciousness of Lord Sripada, and auspicious vibrations enter into his devotees. Sri Channa destroys those heaps of sins and black auras which entered into his consciousness by taking a single dip in a holy river, or he will burn them into ashes in the blazing fire of his yoga. He will personally do penance and dedicate the fruits of that penance to his devotees. Thus, he protects the devotees without violating the principle of karma. Therefore, those who surrender to his feet get freedom from the shackles of karma, even without being aware of it. When Palniswami explained facts in the above manner, I was bold to ask him a question regarding a doubt that had cropped up in my mind. Swami, I heard that when Saturn afflicts for 7.5 years, even Shankara cannot escape from the trouble. Pray tell me how Sri Guru Swabhuma wards off afflictions from planets. My dear Shankara, the planets in the zodiac do not have friendship or enmity towards living beings. When a person is born, the planetary positions form according to his past karma. He derives good and evil effects according to the movement of the planets. When the subtle rays from the planets cause ill effects and mantra, tantra, yantra remedies cannot abate them, one has to resort to japa, tapa and homa practices. When they also cannot alleviate the suffering, one has to take refuge in the padukas of Sri Guru. Sri Pada is the omnipotent. Good and evil forces also exist. The vibrations of those good and evil forces cause good and bad developments respectively. Each planet has a dominance on a particular part of the human anatomy. When planetary afflictions take place, the relevant part of the human body ruled by the adverse planet becomes sick. Undesirable results follow when the subtle vibrations flowing from the universal consciousness are received. Variations take place in the attraction and repulsion caused by the vibration. A person who is a ether 2 in good company suddenly will be subjected to ill effects like bad company, friendship with low class people, unreasonable quarrels, loss of relatives, disputes with family members, and reduction in the power of personal attraction. The universal forces create vibration continuously. They work steadily in a state of sthiti for some time in the concerned persons. After some time, they leave those persons and reach the bodies of persons who are destined to come under their influence. They begin to give results again according to the rotation of the wheel of time. People who are devotees of God and observe spiritual practices like japa and tapa can get some respite to some extent from the planet's rigor. Sages conduct various kinds of sacrifices for the universal welfare. They dedicate their spiritual power derived through tapas for the well-being of humanity. As a result of this practice, harmful influences arising in the universe revert back to their origin instead of harassing man. It means that they return to the center of their origin. This can be termed as tirdhon, granting of abundant auspicious results even for small amount of good deeds is called grace, anugraha. My son, I explained to you the concepts of Shashti, Sthiti, Laya, Tirdona and Anugraha according to the doctrine of Kriya Yoga. In future, the powers of Sripada Sri Vallabha will flow in a large measure in the Muslim Fakir you saw in your meditation. You saw your Nanda lamps in the underground cellar beneath the neem tree. This is an extraordinary matter. Sripada Sri Vallabha granted you this experience with a great intention in mind. He only knows the inner purpose of it. His divine acts are indeed superb. They have a very deep purpose. Moreover, they may be divine secrets not to be divulged to others. I can only explain to you to the extent he permitted me. The entire creation works under the guidance of Sripada Sri Vallabha. He is the authority for himself. The glorious yogic powers of the master of this universe are immeasurable and cannot be comprehended in terms of measurements, limits, and quantities. My mind immensely rejoiced at the explanation of Sri Palliswami. From the time I started from the Udupi area till I reached Kuruvapuram, many wonderful and strange things were taking place. I wanted to write a book about them and obtain the permission of the Sri Guru Sarvabhuma. I wanted to request Sri Pada in this regard after getting his darshan. Sri Palniswami grasped the feelings in my mind easily and said, I have understood the ideas in your mind. You want to write his history for the benefit of devotees of the future. Sri Pada Sri Vallabha will surely bless your effort. Then Sri Palniswami asked Madhava to speak about his meditation experiences. Madhava said, Mahatma, I saw in my meditation a Brahmin sannyasi wearing a loincloth. He used to worship Agni and the sun. He was talking to a Veda Pandit. I want to send this coconut you gave me to the Muslim fakir. That Muslim fakir is in a higher state than me. He is like an elder brother to me. He knows past, present, and future. I will take the treatise or the things narrated in this true or fictitious. I will decide on how much truth is in there and how much fiction is in there. After deciding about it, I will write a treatise, analyze them. Then the Veda Pandit said, Sir, you will not be able to take the coconut I gave you to that Muslim fakir. Your effort will definitely be a waste. The Charitamritam had already been written. It happened by the will of Sri Vallabha. This treatise named Sripada Sri Vallabha Charitamritam is held in high esteem as a sacred book by all gods, rishis and great people. This treatise was written on the command of Sri Pada. No one has the freedom to change even one letter in this. This is with us for many generations. Sri Pada's command is that the ruined copy of this must be immersed in the Ganga's river. We have been protecting it from many generations. Without Sri Pada command, we do not reveal even to a great person the fact that a treatise like this exists. You seem to wish changing certain parts in this Charitamrita. We belong to the family who feel the touch of Sri Pada's feet when we put our hands on this treatise. If you are greater than Sri Pada, your order is binding on us. You are in the attire of a sannyasi. We are householders, we cannot dare to oppose you. If you can take this coconut to Tisala Nagaram, I will give the palmary leaf copy to you, discard my holy thread and declare myself as an untouchable. You say that the Muslim fakir knew about the Nanda Deepams. You also say that is Disala Nagaram only and that in due course it acquires the name Shiladi Nagaram. Avduta in our family told me recently that he found a partition manifestation of Sri Dattatreya in Aurangabad and that he took him to Disila Nagaram. Even if you go to Pitikapuram, you cannot install Sripada's Padukas there. Pitikapuram is an anthill of people like quarreling, poisonous snakes. They spend time in vain arguments and counter arguments and unnecessary disputes, but have no spiritual aspirations. If you install Sripada's Padukas in the house of our ancestors, it will be a happy thing for us. But you should have to get the grace of Sripada completely. Without the will of Sripada, not even one leaf on a tree will move. Our family does not need the name and fame, titles or honors given by ordinary people. We believe that Sripada will be moving as a small boy incognito in our house. Swami, this is what I saw in meditation. Pani Swami said, my dear children, that Veda Pandit belongs to the descendants of Sripada's maternal uncle. In their families, they feel Sripada as an incognito small boy. If anyone belonging to any caste, any race, any religion, any country, in any age feels Sripada as a divine child and has Vatsalya Bhakti, Sri Vallabha will be living in their house as a boy incognito. This was revealed by Sripada himself in Pitikapuram. Sri Charna was born in his material grandfather's house in Pitikapuram. The people in that family migrated to other villages some years after Sri Vallabha left Pitikapuram. His family members also similarly migrated to other places. Sripada transferred his power completely into the Muslim fakir of Disila Nagaram in later years. In Bengal, a great person by the name of Gadadhar was born. He would worship Kalikamba. When he prayed for liberation, Jagat Janani did not agree. She asked him to take birth again for the sake of his followers and to grace them, considering their merits and sins. He did not agree to take birth again. Then Kalikamba asked the Muslim fakir of Disala Nagaram to come to her with his subtle body. That Muslim fakir remained dead for 3 days. He told his devotees, I will go to Allah and come back within 3 days. Kalikamba is none other than Vasavi Kanyaka Parmeshwari present in Brihat Sila Nagaram. This Muslim fakir was given the task of looking into the sins and merits of the followers of Gadadhar. Jagat Janani deposited part of herself in him. Sri Vallabha also deposited part of himself in him. After 3 days, when that Muslim fakir came back into his gross body, he became the most powerful one. He served the masjid in which he lived as a mother. It was because of the Amsa of the Divine Mother entering into him. So he showed motherly affection towards his devotees. My dear, all these things I am narrating will be happening in the coming centuries. The way the Pandit seen in meditation had a Vaishya as his dear friend. That Vaishya prayed to the Avduta who was wearing a loincloth, Swami, please accept our hospitality. We are Arya Vaishyas. Jagatjanini Vasavi Kanyakambika was born in our caste. You please take the food materials and cook yourself. The Veda Pandit also prayed for the Yati to accept the great Vaishnavi's invitations. But the Yati, who was Brahmin formalist, told the cutely that he would not accept the offered food materials as alms. This incident angered Sri Vallabha and Sri Vasavi Mata as well. They wanted to punish Avduta in order to remove the pride of his Brahmin birth. The Avduta reached Pitikapuram. The Brahmin community of Pitikapuram, who gave importance to customs and practice of external worship, grandly welcomed that Avduta Sripada Sri Vallabha's maternal grandfather's house went into the hands of outsiders. After consulting the house owner, it was decided to install the Sri Padukas in the place where Sri Pada was born in that house. Silver Padukas were installed in accordance with the scriptures. During the midnight hours, a thief entered that house. The house owner was also awake. The thief entered the room where the Padukas were installed. The house owner told the thief, I have no belief at all that Sripada Sri Vallabha was a great avatar. I do not have any belief in this Avduta. You can take away these silver padukas and give me half of the amount you get when you sell them. The thief said, all right. On the next day, the Padukas were not seen. The Avduta felt sorrow. Silver Padukas were installed a second time. Worship was done grandly. During the midnight hours, the Avduta stayed in the same room near the Padukas. He was chanting sacred verses as Datta. As he was looking, the Padukas rose into the air, hit hard on the head of the Avduta and disappeared. The voice of Sri Charna was heard. I can make my body disappear. Can I not make these padukas disappear? If the coconut had reached Disala Nagaram, my maternal uncle would have to fulfill his hard oath. That is not agreeable to me. The coconut you sent was eaten away on the way, so there is no way you can be given the traitor Sripada Sri Vallabha Charitramritam. Who do you think I am? I don't care whether you are a yogi or bhogi, I am a madhika. My profession is to remove the skin and make chappals out of it. There is no sin even if I remove your skin and make chappals. The voice wrote. The Avduta shivered. On the next day, a great commission occurred. Those who greatly honored him blamed him as a cheating sannyasi who stole the silver padukas for want of money. They demanded him to explain how the silver padukas disappeared. When he himself was in puja room with the heaviness of insult, the yati left Pritikapuram. Palniswami told us that this was going to happen in the future. He said, my dears, there are many unbelievable leelas in the history of Sripada. If anybody doubts or criticizes his history, he will become a Brahma Raksha, the spirit of deceased Brahmin. Sripada made the pupil of Pitikapuram doubt the sincerity of the Avduta because the Avduta doubted the authenticity of the Charitamritam. This was his Leela. Madhava asked Swami, shall I tell about the event of my visit to Pitikapuram with my subtle body and the incidents that happened there? Shri Swami agreed. Madhava said, I reached a house in Pitikapuram with my subtle body. At one place, I noticed that all my powers were being attracted by two divine padukas staying incognito. Part 12. The Padukas at Sripada Sri Vallabha's birthplace. The installation of the ideas of Sripada Sri Vallabha, Sri Dattatreya and Sri Narasimha Saraswati. Sri Palniswami said, Madhava, the house which you visited is the house of the maternal grandfather of Sripada Sri Vallabha and is the birthplace of Sripada Sri Vallabha. It has attracted all your powers in the Patala. Below the Padukas, there are hermits doing penance from several hundreds of years. Sripada Shivallabha Padukas will be installed only in the birthplace of Sripada Shivallabha. After some years from the installation of the pious Padukas, there the Sripada Shivallabha Charitamritam comes to the light effortlessly. the place where you meditated the ideas of Sripada Shivallabha, Sri Dattatreya and his next incarnation, Sri Narasimha Saraswati, will be installed. Afterwards, many divine sportive plays will take place in that place. After that, Sri Palaniswami becomes silent. He asks the corpse of the youth buried near our cave to be exhumed. He began to chant the Pranava Om. After the body was taken out, Vyagreshwar Sarma came there with the loud roar of Sripada Rajam Sarnam Prapatyay. Sri Palaniswami entered into the body of the young man. Vyagreshwar Sarma, who was in the body of a tiger, took away the body of Sri Palaniswami, which decayed with age, to throw it into a nearby river. Palaniswami, who entered the new body, ordered, "Leave this place immediately. My dear Madhava, go to your Vichitrapuram. You saw the pious people of Vitikapuram in your subtle body. That is enough for you for this life. My dear Shankara, go to the great place Tirupati Madhava. May the grace of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha be showered on you." Then Madhava went towards Vichitrapuram and I went towards Tirupati. Where is the end to the divine sportive place of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha? Victory unto the Sri Pada Sri Vallabha.